Hey, greetings, friends. Jacques Howard here, and welcome to Trenton 365 Midweek, coming to you Wednesdays from Hub 13 West Front Street in historic downtown Trenton, New Jersey. That's where I am right now, located right on Front Street. We're about a half a block from the old barracks, and the next street over is South Warren Street, and then we're about a block and a half away from the historic Mill Hill Park. And I'm going to talk a lot in detail about Patriots Week, which takes place the week between Christmas and New Year's. But stay tuned for that. Let's take care of some basic things to get started. Again, my name is Jacques Howard. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can follow at Trenton, the numbers 365. So Trenton 365. The whole impetus behind what we do here at Trenton 365 is independent media. And when I say independent media, that is community-based, meaning we're sharing information, distributing information, encouraging people to be a part of the process of creating the community that they want. So with that, I have it based upon the acronym R.E.A.C.H. So R.E.A.C.H, R-E-A.C.H stands for Recreation, Environment, Art, Civics, and Health. So under those 5 different topics, I partner with different organizations, small businesses, and actually just I don't want to just make it sound like nonprofits, but it's also causes, things that are important to me, things that I have a passion about, and things that I've been personally touched by. And so therefore, I usually take that opportunity to learn more about what's going on in that culture and in that subculture, and then packaging it together and bringing it to the larger audience with the sheer intent that more people are going to have a better understanding about what it is, kind of like I have. So in the past, in 2023, my focus under recreation was Trenton Cycling Revolution. Trenton Cycling Revolution, I was fortunate enough to be the co-chair this past year with Kathy Deal and the wonderful team over at TCR. But I'm transitioning from the board of TCR, meaning I'm focusing more on supporting the organization, but not as a board member. Supporting the organization as a resident in the community who believes that biking safely and the recreation opportunities of biking and the transportation opportunities regarding biking and walking and other pedestrian things are very important. So the website or the Facebook page that I'm going to be sharing the information that I'm doing in 2024 on is Capital City Rollers, all things human powered with wheels. Now, on the Capital City Rollers page, we'll be sharing a lot of content and information, not only about the fun and the joy of riding a bike and the personalities involved with some of the things that are happening on a larger scale, but we'll also be sharing information on that page about how you can get involved, how you can be a part of making sure that the streets are safe, making sure that biking laws, if they come on board or if they leave, or what's happening in the biking world, so that here in Trenton and the surrounding community, Mercer County region, we can be more aware about what's happening on a larger scale and oftentimes internationally with biking and pedestrian advocacy. So I'll be sharing some different things there as far as street design, maybe new technology that's coming on with biking, some cultural things regarding biking and pedestrian and community development, et cetera. And again, all with the intention of getting more people to say, hey, I never thought about biking that way, so let me see if I can get involved. In addition to that, I will continue in 2024 until this is completed, and that's Friends of Antico Square. For well over, I guess it's maybe 7-8 years now, I've been working with the culture of skateboarders and BMXers here in Trenton, New Jersey, and in the region to have Trenton develop an outdoor public skate park. And this skate park has evolved over the original ideas, including the different location. Originally, it was planned to be at Wetzel Field, excuse me, over in the East Ward, but it just worked out where we have this wonderful space and this opportunity, along with some other funding and other park modifications and implementations over in the Coalport area. The Coalport area is over by where the Capital City Farm is, the Trenton Farm, but also where the police station is and Taylor Pork Roll. So historically, that area has been downcast for many years. You can do your own homework and research on that and find out about the political deals that were involved with that area, the amount of families that were displaced from those homes that are over in that area, as well as the up and downs of that community. And a lot of those folks, original homeowners, are still there. So you can actually tap into them and to tap into what their experiences have been. In addition to that, there's the Locust Hill Cemetery that's over there, which is a historical burial ground for African American. I believe that there's some folks from the Civil War who may be, the Revolutionary War, who may be buried there. But you have to find out more about the Locust Hill Cemetery project on your own. And I say that because in that whole area, going from, let's say, the police station running along the canal to Olden Avenue, and then subsequently past Olden Avenue, that's all slated to be open space and green space and parks and things like that. There's lots of different plans that have been shared over the years, and we're close. I mean, we're close to actually getting some things done so we can move to the shovel-ready process. Right now, specifically with the skate park, Friends of Antigua Square, and on the Facebook page, Friends of Antigua Square, you can see that we're in a space now where we've secured some funding through some partners, the city, the state, DOT, East Trenton Collaborative, Isles, and others, secured some funding so we can start the design phase of what this park is going to look like. Now, we've had ideas and thoughts about this park, being a skate park that is skatable for all different skill sets, from beginner all the way up to pro. But also to have a public gathering space. They're almost like an amphitheater. There's been ideas and thoughts about maybe a rock climbing wall of some sort. But there's also Poppy Soccer, which is a smaller version of a soccer field, which is very popular in the Latino Hispanic countries as well as international companies. So our original idea was like, hey, let's make sure we have a Poppy Soccer courts there so people can play soccer on a pavement, as opposed to in grass in a smaller location. And then also to have a multi-use space, which could be used for bike polo, which is something that takes place here in Trenton on a regular basis and has for a while as well. So again, you start thinking about the size of this land and all the different opportunities that we're going to have to design this park with an anchoring of a national scale skate park. Now, the approach has always been specifically that this is something that has to be done by Trenton for Trentonians. And I've been very clear that since coming up with this idea and this concept with Mark Leckington and bringing others involved, was that I was going to make sure that this doesn't turn into something that's for folks just outside of Trenton. Early on, we had, a lot of open conversations, public meetings, et cetera. And especially the folks in the neighborhood, the Coalport area, they didn't want this to turn into something where, for lack of a better term, suburban kids are going to come in and they would have this opportunity for enjoying this wonderful new skate park, and then the locals would have no say in it. And I live in Trenton, so I wouldn't want that to happen. Definitely not going to happen on my watch. So with that being said, we started from the beginning of having conversations with folks in the neighborhoods, in the community, the skaters, the Trenton skaters, and the youth. We did that with having skate jams where we went over to Sunny Vereen Park, and which is also in a neighborhood not far from the area of Friends of Antigua Square. And we hosted for several years. We hosted skate sessions where people were introduced to skating, introduced to the culture of it, the equipment of it, the options of it, but also getting interaction with different skaters, like some folks who aren't traditionally from the area were able to come in and to share some of their experiences, even had some competitions as well, so that folks got an opportunity to see, hey, what is this skateboarding culture really like? So we've done the homework, we've done the groundwork. We're in this phase now where we've got some funding to start coming up with some ideas and some designs. And with that, I'm going to be sharing a lot more about how you all need to share your thoughts and your concerns about what this skate park is going to look like. It's going to be ours. It's going to be the City of Trenton's skate park. So it behooves us to make sure that we have as many people as possible from Trenton involved in the process of explaining and sharing their thoughts and concerns about the design implementation, the programming that's going to take place there, et cetera. So stay tuned. I'll be sharing more about that as that evolves going into 2024. Maybe sticking with that, I also want to say that I'll be joining the Complete Streets team, and I'm not sure the exact terminology, but it's a city organization entity where we'll be taking a look at various transportation, infrastructure, navigating around through the city idea, and how do we do that safely? This ties into Trenton Cycling Revolution and being a part of that organization and the biking pedestrian safety. So stay tuned for more about Complete Streets, what Complete Streets is on a national level, but also what the local level looks like and how you can be a part of making sure that our streets are safer for all of our users, whether that's folks who live here or folks who are just coming in. So stay tuned for more about Complete Streets. Also under recreation, I want to tie into 2024. I'm going to be joining the board of Swing to Tee Golf. Swing to Tee Golf is based out of South Jersey, Willingboro area, is put together by Pat Lindsay Harvey. And I've had a chance to sit down and interview Pat as she's talked about the importance of academia and sports and how those work together to develop a holistic approach to developing our youth. And her focus on golf has been something that has caught my attention. She teaches golf from, I believe it's 8 to 100 is what she says in her marketing. But I'll be coming alongside and joining the organization, hoping to share as much as I can as far as marketing and community engagement and getting more people to start playing the game of golf. I mean, it's one of the things that I really enjoy doing. And from a skill set and from an athletics standpoint, it's probably one of the hardest things that I've ever tried to do and to be good at it. And I'm not very good at golf. So stay tuned as I'll talk more about golf. This time of the year, folks really aren't on the East Coast aren't thinking too much about gardening, but now is actually a really good time to start thinking about gardening and urban agriculture and what it's going to look like for you and your family as you start thinking about how this can offset costs for your food. I mean, you can grow enough produce in a small space where you can, freeze some things, can some things, and then save yourself some money. And also it's way more nutritious if it's done, properly. And it's also a good learning tool, and it could be a lifelong learning that you could teach to young people. If you explain to them like what the process is of growing beans or how long it takes to get corn and things of that nature, but also build in the importance of being good stewards of what we grow and what we consume and what we don't consume. So then we can start getting away from so much this waste. So with urban ag, now is a really good time, again, to start thinking about what your garden is going to look like. I know that there are folks who may not have land mass or may not have any full knowledge about what the process is. There's several organizations that are local that can assist you with that. One of them is the R.E.A.C.H organization that operates a community gardening program. Usually, I guess, around February or March, they start gathering for meetings. You can sign up, for a very low cost, and I'm sure they probably have some sponsorship opportunities where you can assist with learning education about gardening, but you can also participate if you wanted to create a community garden, like on a larger space, or if you wanted to take on responsibility and take a vacant piece of land and turn it into a garden. They can assist you and give you some navigation how to get that done by working with the city, working with your local neighborhood, et cetera. I'll be having the members of the R.E.A.C.H organization on to talk about, gardening and urban ag, especially around May and June, when most folks are traditionally preparing for that. But I just wanted to get it on folks' radar right now. And to think about just some basic things that you can do to make sure that you set yourself up well. If you are going to put seeds and plants in the ground, so that you can eat that. Make sure that you're doing a proper soil test. There's the Mercer County Extension, which is on Parkside Avenue in Ewing, just off of Olden Avenue. You can just scoop up your soil, put it in a bag, take it over to them. They'll do a soil test and let you know if it's something that you should be planting potential food in or not. But then you can also think about some opportunities to go in containers. You can grow lots of different things in containers that are food safe containers, such as pottery, but also to even put it in. I'm doing things in milk crates and so forth. But there's options for you to grow in containers. I would say consider that if you're uncertain about where your soil is. And also if you don't have a lot of space, because you can do container gardening on a balcony, you can do it in a kitchen window. You have some options with that. But again, the ISLES organization is one. ISLES, ISLES.org is one where you can find out some information. You can also tap into me and whatever resources I have. I'd love to share with you what's happening as far as our local spot in the South Ward of Trenton. We're looking to do some different things this year. I've been growing in ground as well as in containers, but we were fortunate enough to secure some funding to be able to go into metal or aluminum, more aesthetically pleasing raised beds that are 17 inches high as opposed to 8 inches high. So therefore, it's a little bit easier when I'm bending over to do my gardening and weeding and so forth. But I'll be sharing lots of images and pictures about that as that progresses. And depending on what the organization says or the company what they say, I'll probably be sharing things from an affiliate perspective, hopefully. I'll be telling you about, what it's like to work with them, et cetera. But we'll see how that goes. So therefore, until that comes up, I won't be sharing the name of the company, but you can get a chance to see the images and stuff when I put them up. That also ties into affiliates. I'll be creating an affiliate page on the website, which is my name, Jacques-Howard, or Trenton365.com. There'll be an affiliate page on there, and that affiliate page will have links to products, links to services and organizations that I'm a part of in some capacity. Now, some of those some of those businesses, I may get a percentage or a commission if you purchase from clicking on the link. It'll be a very specific link to me, to Trenton 365, et cetera. But this affiliate page will have products and organizations and things that I'm directly connected to. I won't be just posting things on there or listing things on there for monetary gain without me actually using it. So if there's something that's on my affiliate page, you can expect that it's something that I'll be able to speak at length about, to share specific details about my experience and experiences with it, and then hopefully also make a few bucks off of it as well. But long and short is, whatever is going to be on my affiliate page, it will be items and so forth that I'm actually using, and I'll be able to speak to it from a very specific perspective. I want to, you can see this is the Trenton Downtowner newspaper. Comes out monthly. Shout out to Jamie and the crew and Dan Aubrey, who do this paper and have for many years. But before I finish up, I just wanted to talk about this past week, which was Patriots Week, the week in between Christmas and New Year. Oftentimes, if you've listened to the program, you've heard me talk about the importance of our history here in this region, especially in Trenton. How I like to say Trenton, New Jersey is where George Washington became George Washington. Many folks don't realize George hadn't won anything. He hadn't won anything until the battles of Trenton, followed by the Battle of Princeton. So with that being said, that puts Trenton in a very, very, very specific place in the history of our country. Now, people can say, Philly and DC and so forth. But remember, this is where George won the first one and then the second one. So with that being said, I'm encouraging folks to take a little bit more time and dive into the history of this city. And while you're doing that, think about how diverse the city was then and in comparison to how it is now. And to say that if this space, this city, this landmass, this geography was so important that this is where historically the city, the country was born, then what are we doing on a regular basis to make sure that we're honoring that and we're sharing that with future generations? This past week, again, was Patriots Week, which is put on by several entities. I'm not sure all the detail. I do know that I got a chance to chat with Bernard McMullen, who was doing the Patriots Week pub crawl that had multiple local venues available for bar hopping. The Lobby Club, 1911 Smokehouse, the new Mill Hill Lounge, and also Trenton Social. I wasn't able to make all of the locations, but what I did do, it was very festive. There were a lot of people who were engaged, a lot of old faces, familiar faces, I should say, and some new ones as well. And shout out to the team of Patriots Week who put this together, because I think providing opportunities for folks to come into the city to get a better understanding and perspective as to what's taking place here, but also to realize that, hey, we're all in this together. We're all trying to have a good time, enjoy our space, enjoy our lives, etc. So again, shout out to Bernard McMullen and all those who were part of the Patriots Week pub crawl. Trenton 365 community calendar on Facebook is where you'll be able to get lots of different information and content. Stay tuned for the paid portion of that, where if you are an entity, you're a business, or you've got an event coming up and you want to come on and do a blog post, you want to do a video, an interview, you'll be able to do that and then go out through Trenton 365 community calendar. Shout out to everybody who's on that page. The community calendar page is literally this region, things that are happening in this region, also shining light on folks in this region who have and are doing some really cool things. So if that's something that you want to be a part of, just go over to the page. You can like the page, of course, share it, but you can also send a message over there. And we're building out the administration side of it. So someone will get back to you if you message that. But if you're looking to do something on the Trenton 365 community calendar page, stay tuned because more of that is coming. With the community calendar, a couple events that are coming up. One, tonight, Whimsical Wednesday. Whimsical Wednesday takes place at Cooper's Riverview, 50 Riverview Plaza on the Delaware River in Trenton, New Jersey. Once a month, the first Wednesday of the month, Whimsical Wednesdays takes place. There's a special menu. There's no cover charge to get in. There are food and drink specials. We have a DJ. Yolanda Landy Robinson and I do a podcast talking about, what's going on in the local community, et cetera. And then we transition over to Lance and Company, and there is a blues open mic. There's also Latin and disco dance that takes place that night as well. So Cooper's is pretty big. So we've got, on the one side, we've got Latin dance and disco. You have networking and so forth with Whimsical Wednesday. And then we transition to, at 7 o'clock, to have Lance and Company doing a blues jam. So there's a bunch of stuff that's happening tonight, and that is the first Wednesday of the month at Cooper's. Thursday, January 4th, I'll be in Philly at Milk Boy. Sun, Dub, Mighty Mystic, and the Exaltations will be performing for C&B Reggae's first Winterfest. Again, this is at Milk Boy. Recently, I sat down and had a conversation with Ben Teeters, who is I believe he's the drummer, but he's also the manager, and his sister, Joanna, is the lead singer of Sun Dub Reggae. So I'm looking forward to them participating. And again, that's Thursday, January 4th at Milk Boy, Philadelphia. Doors open at 7 p.m., $25. Sun Dub, the Exaltations, followed by Mighty Mystic out of Boston area, and then Sun Dub. All right. On Saturday, I will be at the Philadelphia 76ers game as they take on the Utah Jazz. For those of you who are fans of the NBA, the Sixers are doing really well. Big shout out to Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP of the league. He's having an amazing start to his season. Even I think it was just last night, he had another triple-double, which was also pretty amazing. It puts him in some sort of a status with Wilt Chamberlain and a few others in the history of the NBA. So it's as a 76ers fan, it's really, really nice to see that this is happening right now. And the Eagles are doing well also. Not so much for my baseball fans for the New York Mets, but that's something else. We'll have another conversation about that when the weather warms up here. But you can also catch me and Dan Regan. We do a program called Doc and Jock, two friends talking sports, and we share our personal experiences, but we also talk about, the teams and things that we follow and some of the current events. You can find that Facebook page, Doc and Jock, two friends talking sports. And finishing up, I'm not going to go through all R.E.A.C.H, but finishing up, I want to talk about the Trenton Microloan Collaborative. The website is trentonmicroloan.org. On this website, you can go there. You'll see me and a bunch of others who are doing stuff along with this effort, this initiative. And the idea behind it is we have secured funding and are securing ongoing funding to provide grants to formerly incarcerated entrepreneurs. We have a very specific process of vetting through relationship building and some very technical things. And, looking at, historical, information that they supply to support these entrepreneurs. We currently have 4, and it's growing. You can find out more about the story by going over to trentonmicroloan.org or by going to the Facebook page, which is also Trenton Microloan. Trenton Microloan Collaborative, excuse me. And you'll be able to you can get involved. If you're someone who fits the status, you can request an application and you can fill the application out. We'll meet with you. We have options for meeting. We can do it virtually. We can do it in person, preferably. And then we can see, if you're someone who wants to apply for this grant loan, and if you meet the criteria. And once you do, you kind of become part of the family. And, we can constantly work with you to help you be successful, but also to help us grow in our knowledge and wisdom about folks who've been formerly incarcerated, our returned citizens or returning citizens, and those who are entrepreneurs, and the stories behind why they're entrepreneurs. And oftentimes it's because of it was too difficult, or the pathway to success wasn't there by trying to follow traditional routes of getting employment, housing, etc. So the two churches, Westminster Presbyterian Church in Trenton and Nassau Presbyterian Church in Princeton, came together with this idea of how do we secure funding, how do we use our networks and our social capital to find and vet folks who meet this criteria, who want this support and assistance, and how do we do it? And how do we make changes as things progress and pivot so that this can be a successful thing? But again, the website, Trenton Microloan Collaborative. Trenton Microloan Collaborative is the name of it. The website is trentonmicroloan.org. All right, I know I'm out of time, actually. So I apologize if I've gone over, taking too much of your time, but I appreciate you coming and checking it out. I suggest you and encourage you to reach out to me. You can do so on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also call me or text me 609-433-0489. We have a very simple process. We have a brief conversation, figure out what it is you want to do, or if you just want to talk, or whatever it is. Let's figure out that. And then from there, we can make some decisions and choices. And I don't have a problem with sharing my network. That's what my social capital is. But we just want to go through a process of vetting and making sure that everybody's on the same page so that when I introduce you to somebody, you're getting things done, and it's not necessarily just an introduction. So with that being said, also want to give a big shout out to Best Electric. I've talked about them before. Best Electric, Rich Nazio from Ewing High School and over in PA now. He's here at Hub 13 doing some work for us. So if you need some electrical work done, make sure you check out Best Electrical Contractors. Now, he's a dinosaur, no emails, no credit cards, none of that stuff, but he'll do a really, really good job. In closing, remember, it's always about justice, peace, and humility.